Imagine a player with immense talent, a competitor who pushed the gaming boundaries constantly and strongly marked his name in the history of tennis. John McEnroe. But the question arises, what makes him a legend even decades after his prime? Today, we will dig into McEnroe's mystique and uncover the secrets behind his unparalleled accomplishments. In this video, we will explain different aspects of John McEnroe's personality and career. We will talk about his autobiography, his exceptional skills, and his playing style, while also examining his passion and techniques that made him arguably the best and most famous player of his era. Then we will explore his achievements and accolades. Finally, we will analyze the everlasting legacy of McEnroe and the impact he had on sports, both during his tennis playing days and in his post-playing career as a tennis advocate and as a commentator, and his life after tennis. Understanding McEnroe's talent and strategies will provide you with valuable insights into the game and its evolution, and elevate your passion for tennis to greater heights. John McEnroe was born in the winter of February 16, 1959, in the United States of America. His father was in the Air Force and retired when his first child was born. Then he worked as an office manager and studied law in the evening shift. The mother of the future tennis legend was a nurse. McEnroe began to get involved in sports at the age of 8. He constantly participated in youth tournaments, and after 4 years he won a place in the top tennis players in America in his age group. At the age of 12, he began to seriously engage in sports at the tennis academy. McEnroe achieved excellent results, but despite this, he always dreamed of playing as a professional tennis player. Together with school lessons and tennis training, the boy delivered newspapers and moonlighted as a ball boy in tournaments. In 1975, he began individual training with Tony Palafox, which immediately yielded results. At the Junior Cup, he easily got into the national team. The future tennis player set goals for himself and confidently walked towards them. John McEnroe. Who is this? The name more often begins to sound on the lips of Americans immediately, as he wins the second prize in 1976 in the junior ratings of his category, and also participates in the games for the first time. As a result, at the end of 1976, the athlete was ranked 246th. So what does his upbringing and success in junior tennis show about factors which fueled his passion for tennis? I believe that the passion of McEnroe comes from these early experiences and influences. For example, he grew up in a family that was passionate about games or sports. This instilled love for sports among the children. In addition, reports also reveal the competitive relationship of McEnroe with his brother, Patrick McEnroe, who was also a professional tennis player. This competition seemed to be the driving force in the early years of both brothers, who must have the desire to outperform one another, polish their skills, and hence achieve excellence. Further talent and victory at a young age also fueled McEnroe's passion for tennis. He was a promising junior player who achieved various milestones, as discussed above, at a very early stage in his career. He is famous for his passion for tennis. McEnroe is among the clear leaders, trailing only tennis legends Todd Woodbridge, Daniel Nestor, Mike, and Bob Bryan. If we sum up the number of his victories in all competitions, then he occupies the first, well-deserved step in the entire long history of professional tennis. As reported, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, John McEnroe was a 3-time Wimbledon champion and a 4-time US Open champion. In 1979, McEnroe won Wimbledon and the US Open in doubles. At Wimbledon, he partnered with Peter Fleming. This year was marked by his victory at the US Open in the singles category, beating his friend Dele Vitas Garuliatis, becoming the youngest US Open champion at the time, aged 20, alongside the legendary Ricardo Pancho Gonzalez. That same year, McEnroe beat Bjorn Borg in the WCT finals. Between 1981 and 1984, McEnroe not only won major titles playing singles, but he was also a 5-time Wimbledon doubles champion and a 4-time US Open doubles champion. Isn't that fascinating? Representing the United States in the Davis Cup, McEnroe has won it 5 times in 3 different decades. Isn't that legendary? A few years later, in 1986, McEnroe took a career break. He married Oscar-winning actress Tatum O'Neal, the mother of his children Dele Kevin, Sean, and Emily. The marriage lasted until 1994. Upon his return, he won 3 ATP tournaments, but in 1987, he did not win any. This was because he took a break again for 7 months after pulling out of the US Open, where he was suspended for 2 months for inappropriate conduct at the tournament. Consequently, at the end of the season, John McEnroe announced his retirement. Furthermore, he came back in 2006, but only to play doubles. He won the SAP Open player Jose teaming with Swede Jonas Borkman, making McEnroe the first and only tennis player to win double tournaments in 4 different decades. That's when it ended for good. John McEnroe's personality is one of the mystics. He was genius and reckless, with his inimitable left-handed skill possessing particular timing, his extraordinary service with 1,000 solutions, and with the racket that spilled a unique effect in his hands like a magician. He played divinely, with his left foot and one-handed backhand. McEnroe was called the best, the most spectacular and the craziest. He wore his passion and emotion in a manner that captured worldwide attention. McEnroe loved and deeply appreciated the art of tennis and its technical aspects. He was famous for his sports fascination, joy, exceptional finesse, and shot-making skills. According to his coach, he was creative enough to execute new and precise shots on the court. Generally, his technique was surrounded by angles of Euclidean, by which he did not bend his knee or loop his strokes. He used to place the tennis ball safely in the outer court lines without volleying his arm in an elegant V. His competitors used to say that he had an atrocious approach to playing games, since he had always gone opposite to the lessons that were taught him during training. But this was what allowed him to bring innovation to the game. According to Mary Carrillo, a commentator, when it comes to passion for tennis games, few can match John McEnroe. His love for tennis became the base of his well-known career. It was his combined talent and diligence which brought him to the podium of honor and glory. A documentary named McEnroe by Barney Douglas, released in the year 2022, elucidates that McEnroe was brilliant on a tennis court when he hadn't lit the fuse to self-destruct. Was as fascinating a character study as modern sports have produced. In another instance, former rival Ivan Lendl said, McEnroe wasn't just a player, he was an artist. He didn't bludgeon shots, he recalls. He just made them and kept making them until his opponent missed him. He attacked the net with trademark intensity. His matches with Borg were things of beauty. But at some point, the only person who could defeat McEnroe was McEnroe. Former coach Larry Stefanke stated John McEnroe was a coach's dream. He could create angles that tennis had never seen. He just loved making superstar shots, whether or not it was the right moment in a match. McEnroe's enigmatic individuality and supreme skills have left an ineradicable mark on tennis. Whether you like him or not, there's no denying the impact he has had on the sport of tennis that we all cherish. He was one of the best and most famous tennis icons.